Hurricane Ian has made its way through Florida, and some of the pictures that are out there, it looks pretty scuffed out there, so hopefully everybody managed to stay safe. I was, in contact with people that I know, and thankfully everything so far seems to be on the up and up. Just a lot of water, a lot of damage, and a bunch of cleanup to be going forward. But there are some people who are actually taking this seriously, and the other ones who are using it as a marketing opportunity. Because here you have Uncle Joe saying that, oh, Hurricane Ian could be the deadliest in Florida history. Have you talked to anybody in Florida? No? Oh, right, three mayors. Three mayors you talked to yesterday. Ron, though? Ron DeSantis? No. He's too busy actually doing something about it instead of saying, well, the best thing you can do, because I seen this yesterday and it just about made me want to pull my fucking ears off my head, but saying, oh, the best thing you can do is in order to prepare for the hurricane coming, you get yourself vaccinated. But it's unfortunately not the most embarrassing thing that the sitting president of the United States has done recently. We'll get to that in a moment. But what Ron DeSantis, the guy who's actually in charge of, fronting and dealing with the damage of that Category 4 hurricane, thankfully it's starting to taper off, and by the time that it makes its way up the East Coast, which it currently is right now, it's supposed to be pretty bad, at least for South Carolina by Saturday, but it's going to be significantly weakened. So thankfully that's the case. It's not ramping up. At least it's not supposed to. Okay, but anyways, Hurricane Ian is making landfall now. This was as of 10 to, I think that probably converts to local time for me, so just about 10 to noon yesterday. Hurricane Ian is making landfall right now. Florida is ready to respond. We have fleets of high water vehicles, 42,000 linemen, because first estimates that I seen, at least what I could make out the best of it, was 2.5 million people. 2.5 million people in Florida alone are currently out of power. Now, that could be completely changed. It could be more, it could be less, but at least Ron knew exactly. And I've seen the pictures and, some of the flyovers that were out there. Couldn't quite find it, at least in a timely manner, but all of the line vehicles that were already out there, man, all of the people ready to go on the power grid, it was pretty astounding, okay? As soon as, Hurricane Ian went out through the East Coast door on Florida, those guys were ready to hit the ground, and it's going to be a hell of a lot of cleanup. 7,000 National Guardsmen, not to just deport any of the fucking illegal immigrants that made their way across. No. They're there to actually help with a real emergency situation, not like a Martha's Vineyard type situation. And 179 aircraft prepared to help. And thankfully, haven't seen anything when it comes to death totals. Hopefully it stays at the level that I know it as. Right now it's 0 and doesn't go any higher than that. The damage is going to be significant, but that's kind of the game that you play when you live in the states that end up getting hit with hurricanes, okay? Well, we got to talk facts here for a moment. But yeah, because again, I haven't heard of any communication between Biden and DeSantis. He's actually saying, thanks to the 26 states, half of the fucking union reaches out. More than half. I know we're at 50 states, right? But half of the fucking union reaches out to help Florida, okay? Including the neighbors, KIV out there in Alabama, Billy in Tennessee, and then Louisiana Governor, what's his motherfucker's name? John Bell Edwards, right? All of those guys who, again, they're going to be facing, similar type situations, okay? Maybe a little bit of spillover in Louisiana and Alabama. But no, instead of relying on the federal government or waiting for some opportunity to grandstand for a political narrative, Ron DeSantis is just looking after his folks, okay? He'll be a great president in 2028. God bless. But no, Ron was out there, at a podium, giving a message, and then he thankfully walked off stage. Not like Joe does, which... He was giving a speech at FEMA. We've seen the picture of it right here, okay? And then, he was done, and then all of a sudden, like he smelt a young lady wandering through the news halls, and, I don't know, just made a beeline for somebody. What is the old man doing? It's like, oh, where do I go? Okay, it's time to go. Normally, I just leave stage right. Oh, no, where's so many people over here? Which way to the cafeteria? I like my pudding at about this time in the afternoon. Just when you thought him asking for a dead member of Congress was fucking embarrassing, how about this impromptu, I'll just meander off stage because everything is at least flat this time around. What an asshole. But again, Biden was posing for a photo op. Meanwhile, his administration was running back some of the things that was at least pandering to his base. So I wonder if this will actually get out there. Biden administration scales back student debt relief for millions of Americans in stunning reversal after being faced with the first lawsuit and following criticism of a huge cost to taxpayers. Yeah, remember how he made that statement? And this is just going to run like the media, right? Okay, the media, oh, they got all the headlines. Oh, Joe's forgiven student debt. Okay, and then he parsed it through a little bit. Well, it's $10,000 to people who make under a certain amount of money in households, circumstances. But now, what are we, a couple months after that announcement? Oh yeah, no, we're just going to go ahead and scale it back even further. So it's just going to be his selected classes who are going to end up getting student debt relief. Fucking wild. The Biden administration has quietly announced a change to their student debt forgiveness program that could exclude 4 million borrowers who have loans owed or backed by private companies. The U-turn by the federal government comes after the first legal challenges were filed and following criticism of the huge cost to taxpayers and claims the plan is an illegal use of his executive power. Well, you don't have to take his word for it. I think Nancy Pelosi even said, the president can't just do that by executive order. It has to go through Congress. She said that about a year ago and changed, so whatever. The Education Department announced Thursday that the privately held federal loans won't qualify for a relief plan. Yeah, that's like most of them. So what are we doing here? Which the Congressional Budget Office said earlier this week could cost $400 billion over a decade. I've seen different estimates. It's about $2,400 per year that every taxpayer is going to end up fronting. Or maybe that's over a decade's time. Again, I'm a little fuzzy on the numbers, but regardless, regular people are going to end up flipping the bill for what? And just for more Democrats to be more rejuvenated to vote Democrat? Like, what are you doing here? New rules refer to Perkins and federal family education loans, which are bank loans backed by federal guarantees. All right. They used to be a major component of federal student loans, but were stopped in 2010 after a major Obama administration overhaul shifted to direct government loans. Nevertheless, about 4 million people still have FFEL loans, according to government data identified by Politico. 45 million American owe student loans. Yeah, so that was only a small percentage. But again, the executive order that Joe Biden, pushed his marketing campaign on, and I did a video on, and just about everybody in this sphere would have broken it down. But it was illegal at the time. He's deciding to, okay, cool, we'll just go ahead and admit that, yeah, we can't really do that with this type of loans, but those lawsuits are still going to be coming, and they're still going to be challenging all the government issued loans, which is going to be an interesting legal question when you get down to the nitty gritty of it. Can the president just go ahead and do this? Doesn't seem like it. The rules aren't necessarily on the books, but he's a Democrat. He can just go ahead and do that by himself. And again, he also won't get pressed on any of this stuff. And the news networks aren't just going to put it out there on fucking Front Street. It's not going to be Joe Biden in a stunning reversal, undermines his base just weeks before the midterm elections like they would do for Trump, okay, in a similar type situation. It'll just be a little footnote right there at the bottom of CNN. I don't know what they're up to, but reporting negative press on a Democrat, oh no, that's not in vogue, especially at this point in the calendar. But you know what they should be talking about? Well, this is it's not really stunning. It's just, why is this out there right now? It's very odd. It's almost like they're getting ready to shuffle old Uncle Joe off to the retirement home for good. Biden accused of pressuring FBI to fabricate extremist and white supremacist cases. Another day, another case of FBI corruption. You can't make this shit up. Rank and file FBI agents are accusing the Biden administration of exaggerating the threats of white supremacists and pressuring agents to cook up domestic terrorist cases involving racist extremists. And again, anybody who just pays a little bit of attention to what goes on and just in the current events sphere already knows that the biggest hurdle to society, the biggest threat to society Has nothing to do with the 6 white supremacists that are out there, okay? You can find some fucking, ethno-state advocates if you go into the certain chat rooms, okay? But that's just a couple of spurgs in their fucking mom's basement not contributing to society. Not exactly existential threats to the Western order, okay? It's just a bunch of fucking shit posters that are out there. The only extremists I see out there, are in North Dakota, funnily enough, running over Trump supporters after an argument, thinking he's going to be one of those extremists Joe Biden was warning everybody about. The more these stories get leaked out there, the more I think, are they just getting ready to replace Joe before he has to run in 2024? Because we seen a couple of weeks ago that they issued the paperwork. Okay, they got everything ready. Joe Biden was going to be running again in 2024. And a little chuckle there because, oh fuck, is this old man actually going to last that long? Okay, you just file that as a contingency. That all makes sense. But then you start to see, the wheels start to fall off. The old folks bus that likes to take them to the mall for their morning walkabout. You start to see more obvious gaffes. I don't know if they've just decided to taper off the dosage in order to keep them lucid for public appearances. But it's becoming more and more apparent that they were just trying to get this old fucker right across the finish line, okay? So he could go ahead and abdicate his role in 2023, right after Congress gets sworn in. I don't know. I'm not feeling as good as I did back in 2020 when I was very, very well campaigning from a basement, but Kamala Harris is going to be a wonderful president going forward. He's just going to get over that finish line. I don't know. This is just a prediction. There's nothing concrete behind this, but this is what I'm thinking with all of these news stories that continue to come out, okay? Him pressuring and working so closely with the FBI, trying to disqualify Trump for 2024, thinking that, well, fuck, if the Democrats don't have anybody to run in 2024, we'll just get rid of the Republican Party in 2024, is so fucking stupid. It is bottom of the barrel IQ takes on this type of shit. It doesn't have to be a grand conspiracy, with the people at the controls are this fucking dim, okay? We know what they did in order to get the power in 2020. Can't go back and do that. But everybody's shoring everything up in I can't even say 2022 anymore. I can say next month, okay? About what, 5 weeks from now? Oh, there's going to be a reckoning. Oh, and it's going to be fucking atrocious. And the only thing that's going to be left is the Democrats just double, tripling. What are they on now? Quintupling down on all of their failed fucking ideology in order to brace for another butt fucking 2 years from now. I'm down for it because I'm just here to collect all of the fucking salty tears and see all of the different color of hair dye boxes just strewn along the side of the road. And I'll be here to cover it if anybody wants to watch. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.